we break in.
The Seat of Honor. Brought to you by Densmore Oil and Bugby Plumbing. He's up late to give you the news you can't get anywhere else early. He fights for truth and justice and the American way. Please welcome our pal from the Paragon Trust Company, the real Tony D. Tony D'Angelo.
All right, Tony D joins us each and every week to chat about, well, mostly about what's wrong with the state of Connecticut, which essentially means that we could talk for about 15 hours every single day. And we only get a chance to talk to him for about a half hour, but nobody covers the corruption, the dirt, the ugliness of Connecticut like the great Tony D. So, Tony, first, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Elci. Good morning, everyone. I'm proud to be among you.
Well, we appreciate you. So, listen, I've been talking a lot about the Connecticut Doge. You've been talking about the Connecticut Doge forever and ever and ever. And I know you wanted to sort of start off this conversation chatting about that a little bit.
Well, since you had mentioned it, and again, good morning, this struck a chord inside of me. And as you know, I've been crying for a year for a citizen Doge. And as far as I'm concerned, if Los Angeles is any indication, or what's happening in the country is any indication, the solutions are not going to come from the inside. And my best evidence to that is they haven't come yet. And what I would ask for, and this is the whole thing, this is a question to Ryan Fazio. It's a lost cause with Ned Lamont. 2 weeks and pick a college of Cardinals. I'll volunteer. I'm sure Bob Swick would volunteer. We would make the time for this. This is serious. No holds barred. Everybody take a piece of the pie. Meet on Zoom every single night and let it all hang out. No sacred cows. No freedom of information blocks. Just hit it, just basically see what's there. Nothing to limit anything. And I just don't know that, Ryan Fazio, if you're running for governor, how do you feel about this? Or if you don't feel about this way, what is so good in this system that you're protecting that literally has got us behind the 6-8 balls? And it's to your point, Elci. You mentioned the drug addiction charities. We watch more and more funding every single year going to the drug addiction charities. And guess what we have? Higher executive salaries and more drug addicted. Domestic violence, right? We have more money going to domestic violence charities, if you want to call them charities. More and more that we see salaries going up and we have more domestic violence. Problem gambling is another one. Now, our governor, King Governor Ned Lamont, the unaccountable, is throwing out all kinds of money in childcare. And it's, sympathetic Ned. Ned wants to be sure that the working mothers can get to work and he cares about you. And we looked at a couple of these things. All they are jobs programs. This is like a warmed over Jimmy Carter CETA 1976. And it's like, I'm tired of the lip service. I'm tired of people not hitting these issues. This is what is necessary to fix the damn thing.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, it's that if the system feels it can fix the damn thing, fix the damn thing. I don't see any politician. I don't see any political party. I don't see anybody with the courage to say enough is enough is enough. Now, you've got good quality people that will come out and rip this thing to shreds because it needs to be ripped to shreds, frankly. There ain't no middle ground here.
Right.
We ain't looking at the wonders of, we'll patch it and we'll go. Patching it and going and doing has gotten us into the mess this end. Things don't get rotten overnight. They get rotten over time. So listen, that's my challenge. Ryan Fazio, Republican Party, you're going to fix things? Fix it. We're willing to help.
Well, I have John Bolton coming in here. He's running for Attorney General. And according to my research, part of this oversight rolls through the Attorney General's office, Tony. So I will ask him this question. I will ask him, about a potential, citizen Doge, as you had put it. But I'm thinking, to me, if we're in if there is an entity that's in place that literally grades all of these, I'll say entity again, these groups that get funding from the state of Connecticut, and if you drop below a certain grade, your funding stops. It's that simple.
Simple.
You know what?
It's
and that's
simple.
it. So if you're getting a D, you're out. And until you show that you're back up on the beam and you're at least producing at an average rate, then you're not getting any more money. Fix your own house before you're trying to solve somebody who's drug addicted or who again is gambling addicted. Because I'm sick and tired of throwing my money away. I don't mind paying taxes, as I said earlier this morning. I just don't want you to steal from me.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, the history of Connecticut is you fix a bureaucracy with another, malfunctioning bureaucracy, and then you get a bureaucracy to fix that. How many of these things are redundant? How many of these things? I mean, there's 10 administrators going across one thing. Can you do it with one well-performing entity? And I mean, it's not the people that are working hard, believing in taking care of the homeless and taking care of people needing help. The problem is it's, management 101. When the biggest cat is sucking off the top line, there ain't no milk for the kittens. I mean, it's like, but yet government for some reason has run in this cloak. Now, look, Republicans have always said, we want to fund the nonprofits to where they are because we want to see people get help. But you're helping the same situation get bigger.
Right.
And that's not help. That's enabling.
You're exactly right. And I don't know. I mean, I know how I would do it. I mean, I would systematically go over every single group that gets money financing. And as you just said, if you have 4 people in administrative positions and we all know you only need 2, well, guess what? 2 people get their walking papers. It's that simple. We're going to have to lower the cost of some of this stuff. But I think it just comes out, you figure out a way to actually give a numerical grade to all of these organizations. And if they don't meet at least a minimum, they no longer get funding. I think it's definitely doable, Tony.
Well, it certainly is. And I mean, even the state with its, obvious data processing issues and obvious data security issues, somebody showed me this week and this is not the subject of really what's there, but this in fact is a big subject about people not being, seated to run against candidates. And I popped into this thing with beautiful, this treasurer, this report, this, that, and you could find out, you can look up anybody running. And I'm thinking, well, you can do this for campaigning, but you can't do this for nonprofit governance, or you can't do this for FOI. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, stop playing hide the ball. We're not stupid. We see. You can't dance around the obvious anymore. You've got the capability to do, quote unquote, a campaign registry. You certainly got the campaign to do, as you're saying, put it this way, a real-time nonprofit dashboard. It ain't hard.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's entirely possible with the technology we have today. We can figure it out. I mean, for God's sake, it can give numerical, you got reviews from people on regular storefronts and all of this. We have the technology to put this together. I don't think it would cost a lot, and just have a handful of people overseeing all this stuff. We can probably save the state of Connecticut, who knows, Tony, $100 million. I'm serious about this. Maybe $100 million over the course of 5 or 10 years.
And that's the whole thing, Leo. Are you serious about fixing it? I mean, are you really deathly serious about fixing it? Because we are deathly in a death spiral. Bob Swick for years has talked about the unfunded mandates and the fact of all these things, coming home to roost, and the fact of Nedzo throwing around money because he's desperate. He wants to be sure that he stays in his office. I mean, and all this like whatever you want to call it, child care, jobs program, and all this other kind of stuff. All that's going to do is accumulate debt. And who the hell is going to pay the debt? I mean, you're losing taxpayers left and right. You're losing productive people. And it's like, who will sit there and say enough is enough is enough? No one's done it, really. No one has done it to the degree necessary to fix it.
Tony D'Angelo, follow him on the X. It's a great follow, Tony D'Angelo 7. Of course, he also has his own great YouTube channel where he has a video that he puts out there each and every Thursday. It's always a lot of fun. He's also up on Talk Red Media with yours truly every single week as well. All right, Tony, where'd you want to pivot to?
Well, let's put it this way. Let's talk about our commander-in-chief with all his faults and his foibles and his blessings. And the kind of dawned on me this week that if Donald Trump builds it, they want to tear it down. That's basically it. That's not new information. I don't, since in the interest of time, maybe I'll do this on the 30 with Tony on Thursday. The weaponization fund is now paused. Donald Trump has said, okay, let the case actually go through the courts, and I'm not going to push on it. And I am absolutely positively sure you're going to see idiots on Twitter like Bob Duff and Ned Lamont saying, oh, we stopped it and all this other kind of stuff. And basically what they were doing was they were proposing a 100% tax on any claimant receiving something for the fund. Now, that claimant could be Michael Cohen, because Michael Cohen was going to make a claim. Michael Cohen, of course, was the Trump consigliere attorney that fell out of favor and, sided with the Democrats and went to Congress and all that other kind of stuff. But basically what these politicians were proposing, if you want to go back to your American history, or law school, or wherever you learn this, called the Bill of Attainder. In other words, I'm not going to tax white people. I'm going to tax black people. And they just so prey on your ignorance. And so, and there are these paragons of virtue, and it's just, it's tiring, but more to come on that. We could spend, more time on that. But basically, in the land of Trump, you've either got to kill it or disavow it or let your TDS get to such a point where you can't even mention a word. Now, interesting. Reading in the Sunday Hartford Current, front page article, so the Colonel would say above the fold. And the title of it, deaths from cancer and heart disease are higher in parts of Connecticut, the rural areas, the far northwest, the far northeast, 20 miles east of where I am, how a health system is fighting that. And it talked about a $154.2 million grant for something called the Federal Rural Health Transformation Program. Now, I'm not meaning to be pejorative about that. Now, where did that funding come from, Lee Elci?
That funding? I don't know.
It came from the federal government. More particularly, it came from the One Big Beautiful Bill, Section 71401. You could look it up. And it's like, and this is the thing that really gets me. It's perfectly okay to criticize Trump, call him names, call him, whether you love him, whether you hate him, whatever the case may be. But, you'll take the money, basically. You will take the money. And not only that, but you will mention like this article, like this Hartford Current article, no mention of where the funding came from. And when you actually get to where, put it this way, who voted for this and who voted against it? Well, every single state legislator voted for it. I mean, why wouldn't you, basically? But our national contingent, every single national representative, the two senators, the Congress people, none of them voted for it. So Chris Murphy did not vote for this rural health funding. He walks around the state like an idiot talking about the rural people are disenfranchised. Hey, Chris, what's wrong with this? Oh, sorry. It came from the One Big Beautiful Bill. Rosa DeLauro, nothing. Courtney, forget about it. I mean, this is the thing that's absolutely what's amazing to me. Now, I'm not the sort of person, I'm not a, put it this way, I'm not a MAGA hat wearing Trump. I love the policies. I love the governance. I love seeing mature people that are there. I do my best to call it down the line. But this is the kind of thing where you're constantly being lied to. You're constantly being tricked. And Murphy's going to come out and say these things on Twitter. And basically what he's doing is, if it wasn't for these Republicans in Congress who were funding this stuff, 20 miles north and east of me and Putnam and Killingly and Danielson, not getting any of it. So it's just the kind of thing that, I shake my head. This is like, we are so lied to and so manipulated for political purposes that people suffer.
Tony, how much better would this be? And I know what the answer is, but I'll ask it anyway. So and this is not necessarily a knock, but if Trump was more
absolutely right,
personable, right, and the hatred wouldn't be so intense, some of this stuff would get through. But they just they dig in against him because they hate him.
That's just it, and the hatred so blinds the minds of everybody. And the president is guilty of it as well. And people suffer. And, and like, I don't know, we probably won't have time today, but the Trump account plan actually went live last week. Now you've got, you have Republicans coming on, ask them about it. Ask them about it. What the hell is wrong with giving kids a start in life and having them add to it? Oklahoma started funding these accounts for kids. It is a great program. It's not Angelo telling you that. It's Newt Gingrich, for crying out loud, the smartest politician that ever lived. And he's not really a, politician in the political sense, but it's just like, where we talk around these problems and we talk around these doges and it's like, well, we're going to fix this and this is, and then they go and they do the same darn thing. You end up in the same darn soup and then you wonder why. It ain't hard, Elci. It ain't hard.
Remind me that I know you've been a proponent of these accounts through the Trump accounts for the kids. Is this something, let's say 10 years down the road, is it still going to be reliant on outside entities to fund this, Tony, in your mind? I know this.
That was the idea. Yeah. The idea was to get, the Michael Dells and the people to actually, fund it and, or to get nonprofits to fund it, or to get parents and people concerned to fund it. Like my idea was make America healthy, make America financially healthy, bring back the President's Council on Physical Fitness, give every kid a deposit who participates in the program. Maybe they can't do a sit-up, maybe they can't do a push-up, maybe they can't run 500 feet without falling on the ground. Give them something, but have prizes for the kids that do well. This is like, how could I put it? If this were John F. Kennedy, all of this would have been done, frankly. But, we just get in these stupid things where, it wasn't, remember, and let the record reflect, it wasn't a Republican that told you about Trump accounts. It wasn't a Democrat. It was Angelo, only because it was so freaking obvious, and D'Angelo's not a genius.
Tony, we all think he's a genius. Tony D'Angelo, Tony D'Angelo 7 on the X. What's in store for everybody on Thursday? Thursday. Well, we got a great movie.
Everything's going real fast. Picnic, made in 1955. It's William Holden, Kim Novak. It's a great story of how one person can stumble into a town on one day and all of the lives in that town are forever changed. It's really something. Yeah. It got a number of Academy Awards and it's a classic. I get a lot of complaints on this show. Actually, I get a lot of praises and I get a lot of complaints. I get people yelling at me, yeah, you got to get to the meat of the stuff. What are you doing movies and music for? Then I get people saying, don't give me that other crap. Give me the movies. So it's like, I give up.
Listen,
I'm just going to do what I do.
That's it. Do you, baby. That's it. Do you. And that actually leads me to the last question. Those folks out there who have never watched your show, it's sort of a blend of all of that. But, maybe there's this misconception. You're not playing an entire movie. You're just sort of talking.
No, exactly. I'm reviewing it. And then I tell you where to go and watch it. Like a lot of these movies are, you want to cut your entertainment budget and up the quality of your entertainment. Watch the movies on Internet Archive and, bring in a pizza or a couple of burgers or something, sit back, have some fun, give them a contribution, but for them, we would lose this entire repository of really fine art, music, and literature.
Great stuff. Tony, as always, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on and talk with each and every
Bigger
week.
for me, my friend.
I will talk to you later, kid. There you go.
Thank you.
Tony D. We'll come right back. Bruce Flax will join us after the bottom of the hour. Stick around.